What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and we are on a remote Bahamian beach. We're gonna be getting into some diving today. If you guys are new to the channel, I do trips like this all the time, diving remote places, and it is all free diving, me just holding my breath, no scuba tanks involved. You guys, I'm gonna go ahead and roll on footage from day one and check this out. We're already on the water and we got the clear water. We got Wilson at the helm. We got my dad here running down below deck, and we just got Spedguard and I diving in the water. And what we're doing is we're diving like this cut. We're gonna start off doing something a little bit dangerous. I'm gonna be doing some voiceovers and walking you through exactly what's going through our minds, why we're doing what we're doing. I'm rocking the Headhunter Nomad Polespear. I'll have that attached to my Rob Allen belt reel. And I'm only rocking 4 pounds of weight because it is summertime. Water is pretty warm, so you don't want to be sweating your face off while you're down there in the water. I'll roll on the voiceovers and I'll see you guys down below. All right, let me know when you're ready. Let me know when you're ready for me to jump in. Right now? All right. Welcome underwater, everyone, and welcome to the voiceovers. Now, I'm not sure if the GoPro can do it justice, but it is extremely rough, and it ends up being extremely rough the first couple of days. We dove this little cut. It really wasn't a whole lot, so it didn't take us long to decide to move to a different area. Now, we actually went outside of the cut, and we're going in a little bit of deeper water here. Spencer said he saw a big Nassau along the edge of this crack, and we have not seen really many shooter fish probably for about 2 hours. I think Spencer took a long shot at a mutton right before this. We have 0 fish for dinner, so we wanted to just at least secure dinner, and that's what this Nassau is going to be for. And they're very prevalent over here in the Bahamas, especially in this area that I'm diving. I usually opt out of shooting them, but we end up finding them here, and that's it right there in the middle of the screen. I was expecting to see him, and I want to try to get a really good shot. These fish usually give you a super easy shot. Kind of did a little duck dive. I shot him kind of going away. I should have taken my time. He was most likely going to give me another shot, and I wanted to try to rip him out on this first dive because there was a shark right there. It actually came in right on top of me, and Spencer tried to go down as fast as he could to back me up, and this guy was just lodged in this crack, and I tried to give him and juice him out of there. Really didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on him, but he actually tore off. That's not ideal. I really prefer to take my time on the fish, but once the shark showed up, I really wanted to just get him out of the hole, out of the water before even more sharks showed up.
The sharks were on you like he's a genius, dude. That's good.
What?
The sharks were on you like what right as you shot, they came right above you. Why do you yank it so hard?
It didn't take us long to go in a new zone. The water here was a little dirty, but there was a lot of current. Kicking against this current was really tough. A lot of chubs, a lot of life on these little reef patches in the middle of the sand, and the muttons were around. Now I'm actually rocking a free shaft Hawaiian sling, and it's really not ideal, but my Polespear just broke right before this. Ended up my line got hit the prop and cracked the edge of my Polespear, which I'll go over that in another video. So the downside of using this Hawaiian sling is there's obviously nothing attached. I made a really good holding shot, and the best thing to do is 100% you have to buddy dive when you're using Hawaiian sling, and you'll see a prime example. Spencer goes, but this guy is just still on the move, and that spear is really heavy, And normally, like a fish, it'll like kind of weigh it down, and you'll see in later videos, or later in this video, how well it holds fish down. But that was a big mutton. Spencer kind of was mid-dive on this little ledge. He ended up handing me his Polespear because he just made a long dive, and I was spearless. When you shoot these Hawaiian slings, you want to make sure you throw the sling over your shoulder so you don't lose it and it just drift away. But this guy was down on the bottom, way down by the shaft. Unfortunately, sharks were around, so I go ahead, load up the spear, head down. The guy moves, and what happened was, as I was descending, the spear was the back of it was still pressing against the water, and when I let go, it kind of shot upwards. So unless you're super rigid with your shooting hand, it's going to be really hard to make a shot. Fortunately, the shark wasn't going too crazy. I can't say that for the next one I get, so this is kind of going to be a little sneak preview, or a little teaser of what's going to happen later. But Spencer goes ahead. You can see us, we're literally kicking the entire time against current, sharks. Really not a great combination, and if you can learn something from this video, I was trying to hold Spencer's leg and give him a boost while he kind of chills out for a breathe up, because I know he's tired from kicking, and you burn an insane amount of energy when you're fighting current trying to get fish. He makes a drop. This thing is kind of pinned against the edge there, and you'll see how very good sized mutton, and we're stoked for this to be the first fish in the box.
Thank you. God, I was trying to give you a break. I'm dying too. I was so close.
You see he's still holding the fish. The fish is still very much alive, held in just by a little bit of the spear. You'll see her in a minute. But you don't want to take the spear out until the fish is brained. And I believe I get him right here. And you'll see how barely this Hawaiian sling is hanging it on by a thread. What we're doing is just hitting these little patches in the sand. You see all these muttons in the area. It's absolutely loaded, and that's because the current is moving. It really shuts down once the tide switches. Same exact scenario, and it was honestly probably the same exact shot. I would have loved to close the gap a little bit more. To be honest, looking back, I wish I would have grabbed a hold of the fish right then and there. Spencer ends up going to take a dive. The amount of life and the amount of energy this fish has after getting a spear in him, and this thing is pretty heavy. He jumps from this patch to another. Again, you see me grabbing Spencer's leg. I'm kicking him to hold him against the current to where he doesn't have to struggle. But this fish is just not giving up. He just keeps giving little flutter kicks, and of course it's going up current, making our job 1,000 times possible. So instead of us just staying on the spot, we're not only having to fight current, but we're having to push against it and cover ground. And once this guy really starts taking off, here comes the shark, and it is just boogieing it towards him. That's when I start doing the reach and pulls. I'm hauling butt, and I know there's going to be trouble here. I'm really hoping that fish gets off and finds safe haven in this reef, or just pins himself in an area where it's going to be really hard for the shark to get him. But unfortunately, he does too much freaking out. I think the problem was it was freaking out so much that's what got the shark so fired up and the courage to go in close and grab him out off of the reef. I was trying to bang the surface, screaming, trying to get him. I was so pissed at this point. I was so frustrated, and I hate losing fish to the sharks, especially if it can be helped. And I really wanted to switch back to my Polespear just because of these situations. If I would have had the Polespear, I could have shot him, grabbed him, brought him to myself, 100% been able to secure him. Using the free shot Hawaiian Sling, that's kind of what ends up happening. We go ahead and switch to a different area, a little bit more of a thicker reef structure. Like I said, I was kind of over that spot because the muttons made me angry that I was missing him. Another mutton here. Spencer took a shot. Today kind of wasn't his day. He ends up cutting his losses, regroups, and has a much better day than tomorrow. It looks like your spear is like...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, why either? You see that I switched to the Polespear, and I actually found a back section of a roller Polespear. So you'll see the roller in action. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a personal preference thing. If you're not used to anything else but the roller, you will probably be very good at it. I'm used to traditional bands. This is the first and only hogfish we saw of the day. I took a very, very safe shot, aimed mid gill plate, blasted right through it. With these rollers, they are super powerful. Shot that hogfish, only one we got of the day, like I said, and stoked we at least got some dinner. We got after it even though the weather was rough, and it's only gonna get worse. We're gonna make the best of the situation and see what we can get, but that's a good mutton. Fish aren't around really, which is kind of crazy because there's some serious structure here. All right, you guys, we don't have a lot of options, so we're gonna do like some little shore dives here. Just kind of bouncing around along some rocks, along some islands. Really, the wind is just blowing everything out. All of our options of diving deeper, better spots. But this is all we got, so we're gonna make do with what we have, and we're gonna get after it. Low expectations today, but with our skill combined with some luck, we might get out. We might get something. Oh, conk. I don't know. We'll see. The GoPro does a decent job of picking up how rough it is, and this is the protected area, and it's also shallow. So I'm shocked that we're able to find a spot to spear, and we're desperate now, so I'm just trying to shoot some mangroves. It's the Hawaiian Sling at use, and it is, I love just, you know, kind of going through shooting 12 to 15 inch mangroves, especially when they're pretty prevalent around. That's perfect scenario right there. Go down, take a really good shot, stone the fish, or actually I spun this guy. And it does not happen like that every time. Most of the time, it happens kind of like this. I make the drop, fish comes through, miss, but I go retrieve the spear, and as I'm reloading it, I'm just going by feel right now at this point. Keeping my head peeled, because once there's some commotion at the bottom, some fish tend to kind of show up, or they turn around on the spear and start staring at it. So that's when I go down, reload, pick the biggest mangrove, go for another shot. Shot just over the fish. And this is how you get good. Using this Hawaiian Sling makes you a better hunter, makes you understand fish behavior. Any chance I get to dive off the beach or dive in the shallows, or there's some mangroves around and we're just trying to get dinner, Hawaiian Sling is usually when I use it. That way I'm better. If it's my only option and it's a simple option, that's when I can go to the deeper water to test it out and try to use it. Here comes a mutton, not a huge one but a decent sized one. I go give it a chase. It gives me the fish, like the tail wag. I take a long shot, clips the tail, and he ends up tearing away from it and taking off in the distance. A little frustrated about that one, but I make up with it with some mangroves right here.
Tagged a small mutton.
Keeping it simple again with the Hawaiian Sling. Make a drop. Looking for anything at this point. It's nice knowing that there's some muttons around. Not huge ones, but decent ones. And when you're diving this shallow stuff, it's nice because you just go down to the bottom, hang out, wait for the mangroves to come in, most likely. Here comes one right into me. Took a shot, and you saw how he got hit and turned and stared at the spear. Now he was a little bit tagged, but I think it looked like he just kind of fluttered it off and took back off. Quickly reloaded. Again, missed. See me reload again. I don't know if I shoot that guy. No, I just looked for another one. One finally came in, and whenever you shoot them and clip them like that, I just grab them and pin them down, just so the fish doesn't tear off. And once I get my hands on the fish, that's when I know it's secure. Then I can brain, bleed, gut, all that good stuff. So while I was down there making all that commotion, shooting, missing, reloading, shooting, missing, and then also where all the commotion where the mangrove came, I pinned it to the ground, created a little chaos. Spencer made a drop. You see his white fins there? He's hauling butt after something. I knew it was something good. He took a shot on it, and it is an absolute stud mutton. It's almost 30 inches long. And he clipped it with that Polespear, and this is a huge sign that I need to get the freaking Polespear out. And there's some big boy muttons in the area.
I saw you take it off. Yes, sir.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Beautiful fish. Right in the tail shot. Phew. I know, right?
Now that those big muttons are around and I have my Polespear, I want to take it super seriously. The guy we're with actually did or does what I've done in the past, and I even did it on my last episode, where I grab or we freeze a lobster head and you just let it sink down to the bottom. And look at all this life. They're going crazy, pecking away at this remaining lobster head that we had frozen, and you just let it sink down to the bottom. It creates chaos, and just look at the life. Those yellowtail, those mangroves just come in and just start pecking and demolishing this lobster head. And this area was barren. You saw how barren it was, and now all these grunts and everything just sit there and just digging in and out of this lobster head. It's a great like bottom reef flasher. To be honest, I'm actually shocked that nothing really came into it, like a big predator species came into it. Something actually did though, like this little bonnethead shark. It was kind of cool. Decided to make a drop. I've honestly been diving after with this lobster head for about an hour, and at this point, if nothing's coming into it now, nothing will. And there were some decent sized mangroves compared to what I've been shooting. So on this drop, wanted to kind of check out that bonnet head. And I decided to myself, you know what, there's a decent amount of snap around here. I'm kind of over this not seeing fish. So go ahead, load up the spear. I'm going to take one more mangrove snapper, and I want to make sure it's a good one. And it is just night and day compared to how successful you are spearing fish with a Polespear as opposed to a free shaft Hawaiian Sling. Just the amount, like even if I made that same shot with a Hawaiian Sling, there's always a chance that the fish will wrench off and tear out, especially a big fish. So those slip tips make everything just like night and day so much easier. Alright you guys, so today was a little rough on the ocean and fishing department as well, but luckily Spinny Dog got us a stud mutton.
That's right, guys.
Yeah. Taking some tips and tricks from him. Make sure you miss the first 5 muttons you see, and then you'll land the 6th.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. But luckily, he brought the bacon home today, and I'm gonna do the cooking. And what we have here is super simple. I'm just got a little baking sheet here, got the oven set to 400, and I have butter melted, and you can really get any herbs you want. We only have like pickled pimento and fresh garlic. So I'm gonna throw that in there with some Cajun seasoning. And we're gonna let that sizzle. We're gonna let that kind of mixture brown a little bit. And then we're gonna baste it on the fish. This recipe is gonna knock the socks off these guys. I know for a fact.
You done filming? Is he going in or no?
Well, no, yeah.
Alright, is there like a broil pan in here? Should be.
All right, so I went ahead and mixed all that stuff in the butter using a medium pan.
You know that one blade is.
And then the other 2 ingredients beyond that are just some Italian breadcrumbs and some freshly grated Parmesan. These guys have no idea what's about to happen. I told them, I said, oh, you just wait. I got something for you guys. They were like, what are we gonna cook? What are we gonna cook? I was like, guys, hold up. I got you. Once it starts to get a little like golden brown, that's when I'm gonna take it off the heat, and I'm just gonna start basting it all over this fish. And then the magic part happens. All right, it's about time. I'm just gonna pull that off the heat, and we don't have a baster here, so I'm just gonna use a paper towel. I'm gonna kind of crinkle it up. I'm gonna use these ends, just dip it and smear it. Just kind of smear it on the meat. You don't really have to do this, but I'm just doing it because, I don't know, it just helps cook this stuff into the fish. And if you have like freshly chopped herbs, it actually works better because it gets the herbs and it helps it cook with it. I don't like doing this because it kind of steals all the juice, AKA butter. It kind of cooks together. We're gonna get this. Check this out. We're gonna put some Italian breadcrumbs in here.
I got a couple of those.
Good amount.
And
then we're gonna add some freshly grated.
Yeah. And they look like a knockoff.
You get 2 of them for like $20.
Yeah, they look like a knockoff.
We're gonna turn this into like a batter, and we're just gonna coat this stuff.
The best value for the one.
I always err on the side of
That's what's great about that.
having too much butter.
But
You can't go wrong with too much butter. And then you want this to be like a, you could film here, you could want it to be like a kind of like a crumble
I have some 30, 40 years ago.
mixed with the,
I put it on the boat, but you get lost, dude.
No, mine.
yeah. You just
The Restaurant
start.
Depot carries like all the varieties. They have a big ass one. I mean,
You want to coat everything and kind of put it thick on in the middle. All right, now it goes in the oven until this stuff gets,
you ever try cutting the single straight side?
so I have it on 400. Thank you, Dad.
My sister-in-law.
But did you learn something?
Oh yeah.
So I have it on 400, and we're hoping that the goal is to make sure, like we'll check it maybe after 15, 20 minutes and make sure it's cooked. Like you want it to be flaky. You don't want, like when you push a fork through it, you want it to go straight through it. You don't want it to like push it and have it stop. That means it's not fully done. So it'll just literally be just super tender, just pushing right through. We are barnacles done.
Yeah, start scratching
cooking.
it off there.
And look at
They're
this.
catching fish. I go, okay, that's how you do it.
That's it. All right, guys, you guys have to taste test on cam.
Taste test.
First look.
Key lime?
No thank you.
Really?
He likes to try it straight up. Let me know what you think.
He likes it dry, man.
Okay.
I liked it. I think it's good. I think I could use a little key lime.
Hey,
Is it,
too late,
what do you think, Dad?
Too late for you.
It's real good. I don't think it needs any key lime. It's got a little
No?
tart flavor to it.
Let me try.
What it is. Good.
I did put pimentos, which is something I normally don't do.
Did you ever cook motherfucker? It's just hot as fuck. You know that sick or something.
Yeah, watch your mouth, man. We're doing
Oh.
a video up here, dude.
Wait, hey.
Is it Italian? It's good, bro. Mm.
Right?
Yeah, very good flavor, dude.
Yeah, Mom.
Yep. It is good.
If it wasn't overcooked, bro, it would be good.
Is it overcooked? No, I overcook it?
No, it's excellent.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Good.
Good and super simple.
Actually, that cooking in the oven's better with our conditions here.
Dude, for real.
You know, our
The
cooking
burner does
conditions
not
here.
work very well.
I think the oven's a good.
Good,
choice.
right?
Yeah, what are you putting there?
Dude, you have to watch the video.
Got print-
You have to watch the video. You have to rewatch the video and
got princess sauce in there.
herb encrusted snapper. Yeah,
No, it's good, man.
pretty cool. That breading stuff is good with it. Oh yeah, delish.